Alright, super awkward intro. Before we start, everything I'm going to talk about is pretty much through experience and things that have been told to me. So just make sure that you don't take everything super serious, because then again, I'm not your financial advisor, I'm not your life coach, I'm not your college admissions specialist guy, and I'm not even like your academic advisor, so I can't really tell you exactly what to do. Whatever is beneficial to you from what I say, just use that, and everything else you can just disregard. Okay? Perfect. Sounds good. Again, before we get started, make sure to like, comment, and share this with someone who you know is going to go to college or needs a fresh perspective on what college is or can be. All right? Thank you. Thank you. A good start, especially if you're going to college, is understanding your loans and stuff like that. Like I said before, I'm not your financial advisor, so these things are these things that I'm going to talk about are just things that I've learned throughout the years, and like I've talked to advisors and stuff like that. For your loans or financial aid, make sure you have your loan provider and stuff, especially if there are people like physical people that can help you with this. You need to talk to them. All right, make sure you know what you're getting out of, like, from all the money and stuff like that, and that way you can understand it better. And make sure you have them explain it to you in simple words, because the terms that they use are very, how would you explain it, they are very, I'm drawing a blank, but yeah, they're just words that you're not going to know unless you are in that profession, right? First thing is, when you're taking out loans, there's, especially if you're taking it out through like the federal government, there are subsidized loans and unsubsidized loans. So the subsidized ones, they collect interest after you're out of school. So these ones, I would say, are usually better to take. I mean, I think that they're better to take because, again, you're not accruing interest while you're in school like you would with the unsubbed ones. You're not already collecting debt while you're in school. So if you can, take or like maximize your subsidized loans, and then try to take out as little of the unsubbed or unsubsidized ones as you can. And then another point is to make sure that during break, like when you have time off of school, or during the semester, you find a job. Like, even if you don't do that, or if you end up finding a job during school, you make sure you manage your time well, and you, I don't know, maybe only work weekends, or work certain days of of like the night or whatever, in which you're not super busy, or you hope that you're not super busy, because you're gonna have to manage your time and manage your money well, especially if you aren't coming from a place in which you have a lot of money or your parents can help you out, because it's gonna suck if you don't have any money. All right, you're gonna feel like you're missing out on a lot of things. During breaks and stuff, you should work as much as you can. That way you can save money, and you can always push money towards school, so you don't have to take out more loans, and that way you don't have more money to pay off after you're done with school, right? So you're not being cucked at the end of the day, or like at the end of school. You could work during school. From personal experience, I didn't, because I wanted to focus on my schoolwork and, getting good grades and actually having free time to do things that I wanted. But people are really good at managing time, and I wasn't. So that's why I didn't go to work and stuff during school. I mean, it's pretty easy now that I think about it, but I think I'm just kind of slow. But yeah, it was just something that I didn't want to do. I should have worked during school because I did have a lot of free time, but at the same time, it's like I enjoyed having my free time, right? But since I didn't work, now I just have a lot of debt that I have to pay off, and that kind of sucks. But that was my choice, right? Classwork. So this can get a little tricky. You just have to make sure, especially from my own experience, you have to be able to keep up with your work, right? Because you're gonna take like what, 7, 8 classes maybe, if you're up to the challenge. I think it's usually like 6 average, right? Because if you're taking around 4 credits a class, and you can take up to like 18, right? It's like 5 or 6, but some people I know took like 7 or 8. They're going crazy, right? So you just have to understand that you're gonna have to keep up with all the work, and it may seem overwhelming at first, but as long as you understand how to manage your time, it becomes a lot easier. I think it all starts with creating these really good habits, so that way you can get ahead of your classwork. And this is why you get a syllabus, so you can see when certain things are going to be assigned, and like certain readings are due and projects are going to be started and due. Because you have that syllabus, you can plan ahead, right? You can already get that reading done that night before like class even starts, so you know what's going on. Or like you can read half the book or whatever you need to do before that. That way you can work on other things that may end up being more important, or doing things that you want to do that are important to you, right? I think understanding that procrastinating isn't really going to help, because from my experience, I procrastinated a lot and it was very stressful, right? And you don't want to be stressed all the time. Being stressed can lead to a lot of different things. You can get sick easier, you can gain a lot of weight, dude. Like, for real. That's why I think the freshman 15 usually happens, is because you stress yourself out. That can even end up becoming the college 30. After you're done with college, you're just 30 pounds overweight from when you started. And I'm pretty sure that's not what a lot of people want. So just make sure that you are on top of your game on classwork and stuff. That way it doesn't bleed into the rest of your life and things like that. Another thing is being able to go to class. You have to understand that going to class isn't difficult at all. Just wake up in the morning, get ready, go to class. You're paying for these classes, right? You're paying to go to college. You're using your own money. So you might as well make it worth it and go to class. Don't be lazy and don't skip class. Like, sure, it might be nice to skip class like maybe once or twice a semester for a certain class, but if you do it every single day, that's a big no-no, right? You're just gonna fall behind, and then you're gonna waste your time. You're gonna get that F on your whatchamacallit, I don't know, report card. But yeah, it's just gonna look bad and it's gonna hurt you in the end. I mean, if you don't mind getting bad grades, because C's get degrees, right? For classwork too, if you need help, make sure you go ask. That's why that's what you're paying the professor for, right? You're paying them to help you get educated and retain information and learn new things. And even if you can't get a hold of the professor or whatever, there are like help desk areas and people to seek and resources that are there to help you. And then you can also have classmates help you, or even friends that have taken those classes. So that's why in the next part we're going to talk about making good friends and stuff like that. But yeah, for the classwork, like I said before or earlier, you have to create these good habits, you have to create habits, whether they're good or bad, because they're gonna follow you until the end, and even like further down in life. So just make sure you stick with a healthy routine that's gonna keep you in check, and that you can have, so you're not stressed out, and so you have time to do what you want, because all of this is gonna help you throughout your life too. And then campus life or college life, you have to get out and do things. Don't be afraid to experience like things that you haven't done before throughout your life, because these are experiences that could change you, can change who you are. Make sure you, even if it doesn't sound cool at the time, or like, leading up to it, make sure you go to things like those stupid parties hosted by clubs and stuff that are, in the back of the dorm where they are just playing music and eating food and like grilling, and it's a good chance to meet new people, right? It's a good chance to meet people that could end up potentially being like your best friend for that semester or whatever. So make sure you go do that. You can always go run marathons or go to like club events, like I said. It doesn't even matter what it is, as long as you're doing something and just putting yourself out there. Even if you're an introvert, there are ways you can do these things too. Like you can go to these events. You don't have to interact with people, but if you want to, or if something ends up clicking or whatever, then yeah, go ahead and do that, right? The last thing is join clubs if you have the time to, because these are things that interest you most of the time, right? Or you're exploring something new. These clubs can lead to you meeting people that have similar interests in you. That's why they are in those clubs, right? So you could potentially meet your best friend, or a significant other for that period of time. So just make sure you put yourself out there. And this goes along with what I was just talking about, is meeting new people. Meeting new people creates a network. Having a big network really helps you in the long run because it keeps you connected, right? So say you didn't know that class was canceled one day and you had a friend that had that same class, and then they text you or whatever in the morning. They're like, yo, class is canceled, don't go to class. Like, bam, you get that extra hour and a half of sleep, right? Thanks to Jimmy John's for giving you that awesome sandwich and telling you that you didn't have class, right? Or they could help you with finding things for class, especially like study guides or homework guides and stuff like that. You don't know what you are missing out on if you don't have these certain kind of people in your life, right? So say it's like a big test or a big final or a midterm or whatever, and Bobby finds a study guide that makes it like super easy. It just makes taking the test way easier than it's supposed to be, right? Because Bobby did this, he's awesome. If you didn't know Bobby, you probably wouldn't have gotten the study guide and it wouldn't be so easy, right? Just make sure you meet new people, and you never know, this person could potentially be like the love of your life. You could find your future wife or your future husband from this, or potential partner, whatever you want to call it. It could be something awesome, right? Like just meeting new people connects you with like-minded people that you never knew existed. You might find out that, oh, this person knew the cure to cancer or whatever, right? And you could be like, I knew that guy in college, or I knew that girl in college. That's awesome. Another thing is during college, you need to do like some risky things. I'm not talking about like putting your life on the line. That's not something I want you guys to do. Like, don't do something life-threatening, all right? But do something that takes you out of your comfort zone. When you leave your comfort zone, you learn a lot more. Especially, like, I don't know, for some reason, when you are super uncomfortable, you learn a lot more because you're observing everything around you, your surroundings, the people around. You're just taking everything in, and you just end up learning a lot more, and it just, like, I don't know, it just feels better that way, right? And this can help you unlock parts of yourself that you've never known or never knew existed. Maybe you're good at taekwondo or something, like you're a natural, or like you're a natural fighter, or you're super good at art, and you just didn't give yourself the time to do this, right? In the past. I mean, you could even figure out that you know how to solve a Rubik's Cube in less than 5 seconds or whatever too. That's some crazy skills. Don't be afraid to try new things. Don't be afraid to put yourself out there. And then another point is explore the town or city that you're in, because you can find a lot of local places that are pretty much like hidden gems and stuff like that, or not super popular, but you can make it popular for you, right? And you can end up saving a lot of money, especially if you're a regular at those places. If you show up there like every Saturday or whatever, these people could end up giving you discounts and stuff. Again, it's just creating this network and stuff too. And you can also find secret spots to do things, such as finding like an open field or a place in the woods or whatever. If there's like trails, you can stargaze better. You can animal like watch or whatever. You can do drugs and things like that. Or you could find a good spot to swim, or I don't know, do random shit. Like, it doesn't really matter. You could just find whatever, or find a spot that you like in which you can relax and just take in nature and reset yourself, right? By understanding that you should explore, or that you can explore the town that you're in, you have feet, right? Especially if you're like an able-bodied person, or even if you're not, there are ways in which you can get around. There are different means of transportation, right? Because everyone has a phone. You can call up an Uber, you can, call up a Lyft, or like I said before, if you are able-bodied, you have feet, so you can walk, right? You don't need a car necessarily, but just understand that you can get around if you need to. The last part is, if you don't want to go to college, that's okay, because a lot of things nowadays you don't need to go to college for, because you can literally learn whatever you want with a simple Google search or a YouTube search, and you can literally go deep into this information system in which we have, and we call the internet, right? That's what the internet is. It's just a vast ocean of information which you can use and utilize to become smarter. You just have to understand that it's going to take time to learn these things, and you're going to have to put in effort and work, just as if you went to college. You have to understand that you're going to have to put time into educating yourself, especially if you don't go to school, or even if you don't want to go to like a 4-year college, you can always go to a trade school or a tech school. And these programs are usually around 2 years. You can get, especially into trade schools, you can get into electrical engineering, plumbing, metalworking, maintenance, and things like that, and that kind of nature, right? And these career paths can be difficult, or as difficult as going to school for a 4-year degree, but the opportunities can really help segue you into a career quicker than if you went to a 4-year college, right? Since you are pushed into the field right away. Most of these trade schools and tech schools, like I said, they're very hands-on, and they already introduce you to people that are in those fields. A lot of these trades and such, they start off pretty nice most of the time, I believe. I've done minimal research, but I know, or I've seen that a lot of these careers end up paying you like 40 to 50K and like even higher just starting off, right? And like I said, you get more hands-on experience, and you get mentorship from people that are actually already in the field. A lot of times 4-year programs don't allow you to like get that kind of experience. Like, some do, but some don't, depending on what field you go into, right? So this part is like pretty much the end. And like I said in the beginning, these things aren't like specific facts or factual proof to help you choose what to do with your life and what you want to do during college. These are just things that I've heard from other people and things that I've done myself, and even done very quick and minimal research on during college and things like that. Everything that I've said in this video, please don't take extremely serious, but just take it into consideration when you go to college, or if you're still in college. Don't quote me on anything. This is just to help you guys get through college and maybe do something different, right? I just want everyone's time and effort and money during college to feel like it was worth it, because for me, college was worth it. I don't regret going to college because I've learned so much, but at the same time, I could have done so much more too. Make sure you put in like the time and research, put in the effort, because all of this will get you somewhere. Your life is in your own hands. Like, I can't control you. I can't control what you do. So just trust me on this, all right? And again, if you guys finished the end of the video, thank you so much. Don't forget to like, comment, and share this with someone who's going to college or needs a new perspective. All right.